I'm the messenger of Yah, stepping out of Beulah. From Babylon to Zion, my chains are looser in my mind, but out here the jakes will shoot ya. The judges judge for hire, the juries are straight liars. Just to see Israel fried up, they got our phones tapped and wired up. The police got you stuck, no one desires us. This law requires us to buy this man's trust. Pay to get salvation, who you playing? But I pulled your card, I seen your stars, they false lights. My spirit spit lyrics so cold, your frostbite. And that's the attitude from your murderous plight. From your rapists every night, and young boys shot down in the street in they mama's sight. Your overseers call this the good life, like the hood's right. Rep Zion, that's right. Yah's way, that's life. The glory of Lebanon will offload to Yah's land. That's what we stepping on. The next plane won't miss the Pentagon. The bees is dying, Florida is drying. Look like death coming to Babylon. The nation about to be born. A pure language giving the call on the name of Yah. All people will serve the son, the black supremacist. No hippie on the stick, looking like Dennis the Menace. The demon is finished. When the wicked fall, the meek increase. Israel is free. Rejoice in the death of the beast. The resurrection of Yah's people. All your children will be righteous, walking in Yah's likeness, mirth and happiness, all glory in the land that Yah is blessed. See the truth manifesting Yah's and blessed.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise and honor to the Holy One of Israel, to the Creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein is, by saying hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous. Yah is holy. And let Yahweh be magnified. Once again, the Creator has allowed us to come before you another day, another night, bringing to you his great, holy, and exalted words, even the words of truth. My name is Mowreh IshiYAH YIsraEL of the House of Israel, located right here in Cincinnati, Ohio, 1907 Vine Street, bringing to you nothing but the truth. And yes, it is true. All we're going to do is tell you the truth. For Yah ordained me to tell you the truth. And this is what I'm going to do. And who is this Yah? Yah is the creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein is. Yah is the Elohim of our fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, and YIsraEL, whom you may know as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yah is our king. He's our judge. He's our lawgiver. And Yah is our only Savior, and not just of Israel. Yah is the Savior of the world. And I praise Almighty Yah for another opportunity to come to you with his great and holy and exalted words. Tonight we will be dealing with 2020. And what is 2020? As many of our people know, that the year 2020 is fastly approaching us. As a matter of fact, the heathens will be celebrating, and already started, the year 2020 as they know it. Of course, it's not 2020 at all. But just for the sake of argument, it is their 2020. It is their new year. Although, according to the Holy Scriptures, our new year begins in the month of Abib, which always happen between the end of March and the beginning of April. This is when our new year begins. What you know of as commonly as spring, this is when our new year begins. And no, our new year does not start at night, as the heathens have taught many of our people. Even in the springtime, you think our people would begin to catch the heathens in all their fallacies and all their lies, tricks, but they have not. Although many of our people are aware of the fact that our new year does not happen in the wintertime, and it occurs in the springtime, but many of our people are still tricked and bamboozled, thinking that our new year begins at night, because they believe a day begins at night. They believe a month starts at night. And they all are mistaken. And we're going to bring a lot of these truths back to you so you can understand the truth about Yah's signs, seasons, days, and years. And all you got to do is ask yourself, when the clock strikes midnight, from 11:59 to 12 o'clock, what would you see different other than the clock changing 1 minute? Well, there will be nothing different other than somebody telling you, one person saying good night because they're leaving work, and another one saying good morning because they're arriving. And it's not morning at all. It's not another day at all. Neither is another year. This is not the operation of the Most High. Let me just show you a scripture real quick on this. And it's really common sense. But since it's not as common as you may believe and think, we'll read a scripture and we'll try to appeal to your wisdom in the book of Psalms 104. And watch what this says. In Psalms 104. And we're going to start reading at the 19th verse. And it says, he appointed the moon for seasons. And so many of our people learn from the heathens, they think the moon is the only thing made for seasons. The only thing appointed for seasons. And they forget there's a sun. They forget there's evening and morning. They forget that day is a season, night is a season. And if he appointed the moon for season, what season did he appoint the moon for? And all through the scriptures. And all you got to do is take time to study it. But even if you don't want to do the homework yourself, don't worry about it. We did it for you. And we're going to bring you the truth. But the season that he appointed the moon for is not the day season. It's not for your days. It's for your nights. And that is the scriptures. And anyone that teach you other than that, they just simply not telling the truth. It says he appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth it's going down, because the sun know when to go down. It goes down in the night season, but it rises in the day season. And watch this very common sense scriptures, because the truth is just very common. I mean, it's common sense. It's not common to everybody because everybody don't have it. But watch what it says. You made darkness, 20th verse, and it is day. No, it doesn't say you made darkness and it is day. As many of our people believe that the day starts, a year starts at night. A month starts at night. Predicated on the moon. That comes at night. No. It says you made darkness. It's not day. It is night. And even though people will have you to believe otherwise, the scriptures condemn them. And how do you know it's night? How do you know it's darkness? Watch what it says. Wherein all the beasts of the field or beasts of the forest do creep forth. Who do you think come at night? Not men, not women, but the beasts. And would they come? And they coming also with what? The moon and the stars. The young lions roar after their prey and seek their meat from Elohim. Watch what it says. The sun rises, they gather themselves together and lay them down in their den. In other words, when it's day, they take it down. They going in. They're gathering together. They go eat and take it down. But not so with man. Watch what man do. In the 23rd verse. Man goes forth to his work and to his labor until the evening. In other words, all day long. He up with the sun when it rises. He go to his work and labor. And then at evening, right before it becomes night, he's taking it down. Now, either this is wrong, and the heathens and many of our people who believe what the heathens are saying is right. They're right. This is wrong. Or this is right, what I'm reading, and the people who's believing something otherwise is wrong. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the scriptures is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The scriptures is right. So we don't have to concern ourselves whether it's a year and people telling us Happy New Year and this, that, and the other. We know it's no New Year at all, period. Because no New Year starts at night. No New Year starts in the winter. No New Year starts in January, period. And it definitely don't start in the middle of the night. And the year don't start at evening either, nor do a day, nor do a month. And we're going to show you these things and prove beyond a shadow of a doubt what I'm telling you is the truth. But we're talking about 2020. That's what we're here to talk about. Since, for the sake of argument, the heathens will be celebrating their year, 2020, and it can be their year all day long. That's fine with us. We're just here to tell you the truth. And since it will be 2020, and we know what 2020 represents, anytime you hear the word 2020, typically speaking, it's talking about 2020 vision. The heathen has their vision for 2020. All the various politicians are running for office. Many of them are aligning themselves with all their constituents to see who vote. They can bamboozle and trick out of them. They lining up to see how much money they can get. And they making various promises to everyone, many that they know they can't even keep anyway. But they'll do it anyway. And they will give you their vision. And what is vision? Vision is your ability to see things before they happen, to see things before they are manifested. It's like reading the word of Yahweh and you just reading words. But with these words entail vision. It might help you to see things clearer. It might bring clarity to things. It might magnify the things that will and have been manifested. That's why it's called vision. And vision is very important. Like I said, the heathens, they have their vision for 2020. But what I want to know is, what is Israel's vision for 2020? We got a bunch of Israelite leaders going around, not a bunch. Let me just correct myself. We have some that go around talking about, running out the mouth, talking about things that people are wrong about. But at the end of the day, and yes, they all on Facebook, and they talking a lot of noise, but at the end of the day, the one thing you'll never hear from these loud-talking leaders is their vision. Because they have none. They will never, ever tell you the future about nothing. And they will never, ever tell you about things that you can verify to check it out to determine whether this thing is true. They would just talk and talk, question you on your beliefs, question you on your thoughts, question you on your faith, but they would never tell you theirs. And they would never give you vision. And let me show you how important vision is. And again, the heathens got theirs, and they'll tell you theirs, but what is Israel's? This ain't no 400 year. What's going to happen when the 400 years come and nothing happens? Well, what is your vision? Yeah, you can throw the 400 years out the book, but it's there. You can throw how long our people been here in America and flush it down the toilet. But at the end of the day, still, what is your vision? And I know you're not going to give us no vision. And I know you have no vision. So why are you talking and spouting off anything? And let me show you how important vision is. Because you're going to see ours. And we tell ours. Because we want the people to see what Yahweh wants us to see. And this is what the Creator said about vision in the book of Proverbs. And you'll read this in Proverbs 29. And I can understand why many of the leaders won't give you vision or tell a vision, because all vision comes from the Most High anyway. Even the false visions come from him because he's just deceiving you. And I'll show you that. You're just being deceived because you refuse to trust in him. In the book of Proverbs 29, this is what it says in the 18th verse. Where there is no vision, and our people, they not telling vision at all. They will question everybody else's vision, but they not going to give you none. Where there is no vision, the people perish. That means they die. As a result of having no vision at all. They won't tell you the future. They won't warn you about pending danger. They won't tell you how to prepare yourself for Yahweh and his return. They're not going to tell you that at all. They'll try to tell you some survival stuff that they learned from men. And in particular, they learned from the heathens. But who will teach you and tell you and give you vision that you might see? How to prepare yourselves before your maker. Where's that vision? Where there is no vision, the people perish. But happy is he that keeps the law. And why? Because the law is predicated on vision. Because if you don't have vision, how can you then see the law? And you have to be able to see things. Vision is your ability to see. And you don't have it, it's only because you can't see. And there's a lot of things that our people need to see, but you're not going to see it without vision. And where do this vision actually come from? That one needs to see. Well, let me show you in the book of Amos, the 3rd chapter. since where there's no vision, the people perish. Yeah, what is the people helping you to see? Or are you doing the same thing you've been doing 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 20 years ago, and you just doing the same thing over and over and over again? And you still don't see. In the book of Amos, the 3rd chapter, the 7th verse, this is what it says. Surely Yahweh will do nothing, but he reveals his secrets to his servants, the prophets. In other words, when Yahweh gives the people vision to be able to see things, the only reason we know things today is because of the prophets. The only reason you know who you are is because of vision. And these visions come from the word of Yahweh. And the word of Yahweh come from prophets. And the only way you're going to see things today is from the word of Yahweh. And the only way you're going to understand the word of Yahweh is that you have vision. Because where there is no vision, the people, they perish. Vision is essential. And there's no better vision than 2020. 2020. The heathens, they have their vision. They will tell you their vision for 2020. But what is Israel's vision? Here it is. They'll be trying to celebrate something at a time that they will call new, a new year. And it's not new at all. In the middle of the night, that's not even new. In the middle of winter, which there's nothing new. But yet, our people will follow it because monkey see, monkey do. But even if you don't follow this, still, where there's no vision, the people perish. So what is Israel's vision for the future? And all vision comes from Yahweh. And Yahweh sends his vision through his prophets. The very first time the scriptures ever spoke about vision, in other words, the very first time the word vision was even used in the scriptures, it was written in the book of Genesis, the 15th chapter. And if you're hearing us for the first time, let me show you what this vision was all about. And here it is. Once you see what this vision was all about, you might be shocked to know that it's about the very thing that the mass majority of our people reject. They reject this vision. And it is the very first vision that you would even see in the scriptures. And it's in the book of Genesis, the 15th chapter. And let us turn there. And if you reject the very first vision, or you can't even see the very first vision, then I have no idea how you can see anything else. Watch what this vision says in the book of Genesis, the 15th chapter, the very first verse. After these things, the word of Yahweh came to Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am your shield and your exceedingly great reward. And Abram said, Yahweh, what will you give me, seeing I go childless? And the steward of my house is this Eleazar of Damascus. And Abram said, Behold, to me you have given no seed. And look, one born in my house is my heir. And behold, the word of Yahweh came to him, saying, and I may add, this is the very first time in the Holy Scriptures where the word of Yahweh came to anybody saying, the very first time. So not only this is the very first vision that is spoken of in the scriptures, but this is the very first time you would even see the word of Yahweh coming to anyone in the scriptures. And behold, the word of Yahweh came to him, saying, This shall not be your heir, but he that come forth out of your own bowels shall be your heir. And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars if you are able to number them. And he said to him, So shall your seed be. And he believed in Yah, and he counted it to him for righteousness. Because that's one of the things you're going to have to be able to do to have vision. You got to believe in Yahweh. Abram believed in Yahweh. Therefore, Abram had vision. And he said to him, I am Yahweh that brought you out of Ur of the Chaldees to give you this land to inherit it. And he said, Yahweh, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said to him, Take me a heifer 3 years old, a he-goat of 3 years old, a ram of 3 years old, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took him all these and divided them in the middle, laid each piece one against another, but the birds he divided not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram. And behold, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said to Abram, Know for certain that your seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. You see what this vision is all about? After this deep sleep fell upon him, after the sun went down, after a horror, great darkness fell upon him, what was the vision? Because where there is no vision, the people perish. But happy is he that keep the law. Know for certain that your seed shall be in a stranger in a land that is not theirs. Okay. All right. And shall serve them. Okay. We're going to be in a land that is not ours. In a strange land, in a stranger land. We're going to serve them. And they shall afflict them. And they also going to be afflicted. And watch the key word. And they shall afflict them 400 years. And here it is. Not only is this as a biblical truth, but it is a historical truth. Historically, there's only one people on this face of the earth that even can declare, that even can proclaim that they have been in the land of their enemies, a strange land, where they were serving their enemies, being afflicted by their enemies for 400 years. And I may add, the people that can declare this, the people that can proclaim this, is not your ancestors. They can't proclaim this. The only people that can proclaim this certain fact and truth is the children of Israel and those that have been held captive here in what we know as America. It is a historical truth, a historical fact, and a biblical truth. And this vision is the truth. But many of our people want to say this vision already happened with no fact, with no truth, with no evidence. It just happened already. Well, where did it happen? Well, it happened in Egypt. Well, I thought it said in the scriptures that was 430 years. Yeah, it did say 430 years, but see, the Almighty wasn't talking exactly. He wasn't being accurate. Well, what was he being? That's all Yahweh can be, is accurate. All he can do is tell the truth. Yahweh can't lie. Yahweh said 400 years, and made no mistake about it. We can proclaim 400 years, just like Yahweh said. They can't do it in ancient time. How they going to do it in the future, I don't know. But I know we can proclaim that as a truth. And watch what it says. 14th verse. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterwards shall they come out with great substance. And our people don't want to believe this because they don't believe in Yahweh. Yeah, when August comes, September comes, or when this day comes and then that day comes, shut down your YouTube page, shut down your Facebook page, stop teaching, get off the internet. Well, that ain't what you did when you was found to be a liar. And many of these teachers found to be liars every day, every week, about the things that they teach, and they ain't shut down nothing. The matter of fact, they still lying today. And just because you don't believe in Yahweh, that's your business. But we have many people that believe in Yahweh as Abram believed in Yahweh. And let me show you what it means to believe in Yahweh and what that would do. And if you don't believe in his vision that only he and he alone can give, then this scripture that I'm about to show you undoubtedly you will not benefit from. And you'll read it in the book of 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles 20 and 20. We're talking about 2020. And what is 2020? It's not talking about rims on the car. It's not talking about how many soldiers or the bling bling you have. No. It's talking about your sight and what you able to see. And the heathen have they have their vision for 2020. But what is Israel's vision? What do they see? In the book of 2 Chronicles 20:20, since we're talking about vision and how to have vision and how important it is to have vision, this is what it says in 2 Chronicles 20:20. And they arose early in the morning, not in the middle of the night, and went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa. And as they went forth, Jehoshaphat stood and said, and let me tell you what this name Jehoshaphat means. The name Jehoshaphat means judgment of Yahweh. That's what it means. And here it is, the very first vision in the scriptures is Yahweh judging the heathens whom he said you will serve and be afflicted by in the strange land for 400 years. And here it is, Jehoshaphat stood and said, hear me, O Yehudah, and you inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in Yahweh, your Elohim, and that's what we said. You got to believe in Yahweh to have vision. And many people don't. Believe in Yahweh your Elohim, so shall you be established. And I can understand why people ain't established. In fulfilling the pleasures and the desires of Yahweh. Believe in Yahweh your Elohim, so shall you be established. Believe his prophets, so shall you prosper. And how will you prosper? You will prosper in his word. You will prosper in the truth. You actually will prosper because you will be able to see things that other people can't see. That's how you will prosper. And many people are prospering this day. So don't let these satanic spirits steal your soul and give you doubt. You stand up against the adversaries and you believe in Yahweh. Vision 2020. The heathen has theirs, but what is yours? Because Yahweh has his. And Yahweh said after 400 years, this nation is going to be judged. And I'm only looking for one nation to be judged after 400 years. And that's the nation whom land Yahweh said we will be in for 400 years. And as I stated before, the only people that talk about vision that even can give you vision are those who believe and serve Yahweh. Let me show you this in the book of Numbers, the 12th chapter. In the book of Numbers, the 12th chapter, and watch what this says. Speaking of vision, fifth verse. And Yahweh came down in a pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle, called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there is a prophet among you, I, Yahweh, will make myself known to him in a vision. That's if a prophet is among you. And I'm going to show you what happens when a prophet is not among you. People talking about there ain't no prophets, and who is a prophet, and prophet this and prophet that, and we don't know prophets. You know a bunch of false prophets, but you don't even know a prophet of Yahweh. And I want you to see, when there's no prophet among you, what will happen. But watch this. And he said, 6th verse, hear now my words. If there is a prophet among you, I, Yahweh, will make myself known to him in a vision and will speak to him in a dream. Because that's what Yahweh will do. Yahweh is not coming to just anybody and telling them anything. We got a bunch of teachers and preachers and ministers and so-called Kohanes and self-appointed Morehs, whom Yahweh haven't showed them anything. And all you got to do is ask them. Ask them, what have Yahweh showed you that we don't know? That you didn't learn from your teacher? Show us the vision of Yahweh. Because this is how Yahweh said he will make himself known if there's a prophet among you. But what if there's no prophet among you? Well, I'm going to show you that. And watch this. 7th verse. My servant Moshe is not so. Even though he's a prophet, I'm not going to make myself known to him in a vision. I'm not going to make myself known to him in a dream, even though he's a prophet, because he will be the exception to the rule. There is no other exceptions. He is the exception. My servant Moshe is not so, who is faithful in all my house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth. Even though you got a bunch of people talking about Yahweh is just a spirit, but the scriptures say he's going to speak to Moses, not in a vision, not in a dream, but mouth to mouth. Well, how are you going to speak to him mouth to mouth and you just a spirit? Even apparently. In other words, what is, it's apparent. It's apparent that we speak in mouth to mouth. And not in dark speeches. In other words, somebody talking and you can't see nothing. Or somebody talking in riddles. Or they talking in a manner, in a way that you got to figure it out. Somebody got to interpret it for you. The kings used to get all kind of messages, and they had to get somebody to interpret it, find out what it means. Not what they do in church, these false preachers, and they have somebody in the audience speaking in tongues, and then you got somebody even more false than them interpret it. You got the false person speaking in tongues, and then you got somebody even greater false than them and will interpret what they said. Not in dark speeches. It says, in the likeness of Yahweh shall he behold. In other words, Moses is going to see Yahweh. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And our people is not afraid to speak against a prophet, even though the scriptures will plainly say, plainly, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. And that means nothing to our people, because they will do all kind of hideous things and justify all kind of hideous things against Yahweh's anointed. But what are we speaking about? And the only reason they'll do that because they can't see anyway. We're talking about vision. We're talking about 2020 that's supposed to represent vision. And since 2020, for some, will happen tonight. And for Israelites, will happen in the spring. But the heathens, they have their vision for 2020. But what is Israel's vision for 2020? And Yahweh have his vision. And do you know Yahweh's vision for 2020? And as I stated, or as the scriptures state, it plainly said, if there is a prophet among you, I, Yahweh, will make myself known to him in a vision and speak to him in a dream. But what if there is no prophet among you? And let me show you. When no prophet is among you, what will happen? In the book of 1 Samuel, the 3rd chapter, turn there. In the book of 1 Samuel, the third chapter, and watch what it says. The very first verse. And the child Samuel, 1 Samuel 3:1, ministered unto Yahweh before Eli. And the word of Yahweh was precious in those days. In other words, what do that mean? That means it was rare. It was rare. So rare, watch what it says. There was no open vision. And when there's no open vision, then Yahweh is not sending his prophets out to tell the people anything. And when the prophets is not telling the people nothing, the people act plumb fools. They just, every man is right in his own eyes because there is no vision. And consequently, the people will perish. There was no open vision. And it wasn't until Yahweh raised up Samuel. And let me show you what happened when Yahweh raised up Samuel. And we're going to start reading the 19th verse. 1 Samuel 3 and 19. And watch this. And Samuel grew, and Yahweh was with him, and did let none of his words fall to the ground. And all Israel, from Dan even to Beersheba, knew that Samuel was established to be a prophet of Yahweh. And how did they know this? Let me show you how they knew this. The 21st verse. And Yahweh appeared again in Shiloh, for Yahweh revealed himself to Samuel in Shiloh by the word of Yahweh. Did not we just read when Yahweh will make himself known, he will do it to the prophet that is amongst you. He will make himself known either in a vision or a dream. Because all vision come from Yahweh. The heathens got theirs. And Yahweh has his vision. And Yahweh's visions come from the prophets. So ask yourself again, what is Israel's vision for 2020? Since they supposed to be ministers of Yahweh, what are they telling the people? What can they tell the people about the expectations of Yahweh? Or are we living in a time where there is no open vision? Because there is no prophets. Furthermore, in the book of 2 Chronicles, the 15th chapter, the very first vision that is spoken of in the scriptures is from a man in the scriptures named Abram, whom was called a prophet in the scriptures. As a matter of fact, he was the first man called a the scriptures. And where do you think vision come from? Yahweh's prophets. This is how Yahweh will make himself known in visions and dreams. If there's a prophet among you. Watch what it says in the book of 2 Chronicles, the 15th chapter, the very first verse. And the spirit of Elohim came upon Azariah, the son of Obediah. And he went out to meet Asa and said unto him, Hear ye me, Asa, and all Yehuda and Benjamin. Yahweh is with you while you be with him. And if you seek him, he will be found by you. But if you forsake him, he will forsake you. Now watch this. Now, for a long season, Israel has been without the true Elohim. And why? How do we know they was without the true Elohim? And without a teaching priest, and without the law. Why? Because there was no vision. How do you think the priests are able to teach you? Through vision. How do you think you're able to understand any of the laws of the Most High? Through vision. And how do you think you get the vision to be able to see the law? How do you think the priests are able to teach the law? It is through the vision that Yahweh will give them through his messenger. The priests are messengers of Yahweh. Where there is no vision, the people perish. But happy is he that keep the law, because the law is predicated on vision. You have to be able to see things. And of course, we know, according to the scriptures, there's nobody as blind as Yahweh's servant. And let me show you that in the book of Isaiah. Let us turn there. In the book of Isaiah 42. And we're going to give you all a heavy dose of 2020 even before 2020 get here. I know the other leaders are scared to tell you what will happen in the future. They're not going to tell you that because they know you're going to judge them. But you no judge at all. Yahweh is our judge. Yahweh is our king. Yahweh is our lawgiver. And he is the one that's going to save us, not you. So I don't know why the leaders are scared of the people. Watch what it says, Isaiah 42 and 18. Hear you deaf, and look, you blind, that you may see. Who is blind but my servant? Or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as Yahweh's servant? Nobody. Say many things, but you observe not. Opening the ears, but he hears not. And Yahweh is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. And since he's so pleased, He will magnify the law and make it honorable. So the only reason that we're able to see anything today is because Yahweh is so well pleased with his righteousness. So he will show us things. He will give us visions of things. But if it was left up to us, we wouldn't observe nothing that we see. And we will hear nothing, although our ears are open. 2020 vision. The heathen has theirs. Yahweh, we just read his vision in Genesis 15. And he didn't just tell us about a vision in 2015, Genesis 15, but what's the vision he gives us in the book of Numbers 24? Because there's many visions Yahweh have given us, but do you understand it? Do you see it? Is your ears open to receive it? Watch this in the book of Numbers 24. Because where there's no vision, the people perish. Watch what this is. Numbers 24. And this is what it says in the 16th verse. And he said, which have heard the words of Elohim and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. And watch what it says, 17th verse. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not near. And watch what it says. There shall come a star out of Yaakov. And why do they use the word star? And who is this star? And whose name is associated with a star? There's only one person, one man, one individual whose name is associated with a star. And a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies. And Israel shall do valiantly, which lets you know this star is coming out of Israel, out of Yaakov. Watch what it says, 19th verse. Because this is a vision. Out of Yaakov shall come he that shall have dominion, which means rulership, and shall destroy him that remains of the city. And let me tell you, there's those that remain of the city in which we're going to bring to you. that must be destroyed. But who is this star? Since you say you got vision and you can see things, well, tell us who this star is. Tell us the one individual whose name is associated with a star. Since you have vision. And not only Yahweh showed us vision and gave us his vision in Genesis 15, not only would Yahweh give us a vision in Numbers 24, but watch this vision that Yahweh has given us in the book of Psalm 89. Since the heathens got their vision, and I don't know what Israel's vision is, I'm still waiting to hear Israel's vision for 2020. But what we're showing you is Yahweh's vision. Not only in Genesis 15, not only in Numbers 24, but watch what it says in the book of Psalm 89. And we're going to start reading in the 19th verse. And this is what it says. Then you spoke in vision to your Holy One. And who is that? And said, I've laid help upon one that is mighty. And who is that? I've exalted one chosen out of the people. And who is that? Since you have vision, I found David, my servant. With my holy oil I've anointed him, with whom my hand shall be established. My arm also shall strengthen him. The enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the son of wickedness afflict him. And I will beat down his foes before his face. And watch what it says. And plague them that hate him. But my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him. And in my name shall his horn be exalted. I will set his hand also in the sea, and his right hand in the rivers. He shall cry unto me, you are my Father, my Elohim, and the rock of my salvation. Also, I will make him my firstborn, higher than the kings of the earth. Now that's vision. That's vision. Where Yahweh is calling upon one, only one, to bring about his kingdom, even on earth. But is this the vision of Israel? No, it's not at all. This is the vision of Yahweh. This is Yahweh's vision. This didn't come from Israel at all. And the way you know Yahweh vision is through his prophets. And not just that. Let me show you furthermore Yahweh's vision in the book of Isaiah 55. Isaiah 55:1. Ho, everyone that thirsts, come you to the waters. And he that has no money, come you buy and eat. Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price. Why do you spend money for that which is not bread? And you labor for that which satisfies not. Listen diligently unto me, and eat you that which is good, and let your soul delight in fatness. And watch what it says. Incline your ear, because again, who is deaf as my messengers, and blind as my servant? Watch what it says. Incline your ear, and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Behold, I've given him for a witness to the people. How is he a witness to the people? Do you know what a witness is? A witness is one that witness to the fact that what Yahweh is saying is the truth. And here it is, Yahweh has given him for a witness to the people. A leader. He's not just a witness, a leader and a commander to the people. That's vision. These are things that Yahweh will show you. Yahweh will give you even before they happen. But can you see it? Do you have vision? And if you can't see these things, why can't you see them? Is your ear inclined? Or not? Do you believe in Yahweh? If you can't see it, you got to question yourself. "2020. Can you see? It don't take a rocket scientist to know that 20 plus 20 is 40, and 40, according to the scriptures, equals judgment. And Yahweh said, after 400 years, he's going to judge. "20 times 20 is 400. My goodness, can you see that? And what will happen then? Judgment. And where did you learn this? Where did you see this? In a vision that was given to his prophet. The very first man that was called a prophet in the scriptures. What other vision could you possibly have? What other vision could you possibly be talking about? What other vision could Israel be teaching you? Watch this. Not only there, in the book of Jeremiah 23. Since we're talking about vision, watch this. In Jeremiah 23. The very first verse. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of the pastures of my pasture, says Yahweh. Therefore, thus says Yahweh Elohim of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. Since you call yourself ministers and pastors and so-called reverends, yes, Yahweh is talking about you. You have scattered my flock and driven them and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, says Yahweh. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries where I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, says Yahweh. Behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. And you might ask yourself, well, when will this be? And it's going to tell you. Watch what it says. In his days, who? That king, Yehudah shall be saved. In other words, Yehudah ain't going to be saved first. The king got to be there first. Because in his days, Yehudah shall be saved. In his days, Israel shall dwell safely. And this is the name whereby he shall be called Sadiq Yanu, which means Yahweh, our righteousness. That's vision. That's foretelling the future. That's letting you know what will come to pass. That gives the downtrodden hope, expectation. But not so with the simple or the foolish. Watch this. In the same chapter, 16th verse. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, listen not to the words of the prophets that prophesy to you. They make you vain. In other words, they not telling you about no future. They not telling you to prepare for anything. They not telling you to humble yourself. They not telling you to fast. They not telling you about no pending danger or no pending trouble. They not telling you nothing. And every year will be as the last year. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. And they make you vain. So you have no hope. You have no expectation. You don't know when. You don't know where. You don't know how. Nor do you even know what. They speak a vision of their own heart and not out of the mouth of Yahweh. So they're not going to tell you about the very first vision in the scriptures, which is out of the mouth of Yahweh. They're not going to tell you about Numbers 24, which is out of the mouth of Yahweh. They're not going to tell you about Psalms 89, which is out of the mouth of Yahweh. They're not going to tell you about Jeremiah 23, which is out of the mouth of Yahweh. And they're not going to tell you about Jeremiah 23. They're not going to tell you about none of these visions. They will actually make you vain. They say, still unto them that despise me, Yahweh has said, you shall have peace. In other words, they not getting you ready for nothing at all. And if they not preparing you for anything, then they must tell you you're going to have peace. They not telling you about no danger. And if they're telling you about danger, is it out of the mouth of Yahweh? How are they preparing you? What are they teaching you? And I'm here to tell
60 seconds.
Nothing at all. And they say unto everyone that walks after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. In other words, nothing ain't going to happen to you. Watch when August come. Watch when September come. Watch when this day come. Nothing is going to happen to you. For who has stood in the counsel of Yahweh and has perceived and heard his word? Who has marked his word and heard it? Behold, a whirlwind of Yahweh has gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. The anger of Yahweh shall not return until he has executed,
10
until
seconds.
he has performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days, you shall consider it perfectly. It is my prayer that you understand that we are in the last days. And it's also my prayer that you will consider these things perfectly. So until tomorrow, Yahweh love you, and so do I. Shalom.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
God's word, 2 or 3 witnesses so it can be confirmed.
firm. To you, my Yah, do I lift up my soul. And trust in you, he always kept me whole. And left my enemies deep in their holes. Let none that wait on Yahweh be ashamed. Put shame on those who sin without a cause. Show me your ways, please teach me your laws. Oh Elohim of my salvation, I'm staying down and patient. As a child, all the while I'm waiting. Remember not the sins of my youth. Lead me in your truth, and he'll give your soul ease. The earth shall remain inherited by a seed. The secret of Yah's with who fears Elohim. A fool believes everything, and to every word spoken, you can't take heed unless you hear somebody curse. You know you did the same thing. That's why I'm begging Yah for mercy and his love and kindness, cause I know that I ain't worthy.